What's up, everybody? I'm Jonah Du.
And I'm Shawn King, and today we're tackling a financial myth that way too many people believe.
That myth is I'm too old or I'm too young to start infinite banking.
Wait. I thought we were doing a video on I'm too old to opt into my 401k plan. What's going on?
Ha! I switched it up on you. Now you gotta come off the dome for the rest of the video, Shawn. Let's see what you got.
Come on, man. You've heard me freestyle. You know coming up with stuff off the rip ain't my thing. I thought we were here to educate the people, not scare them away. Luckily for them, I actually know a thing or two about infinite banking, so I think we'll be all right. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
This is still a good one, man. We get it all the time. I'm just too young to start an infinite banking policy.
That's very true, Jonah. Now, when it comes to being too young or too old for IBC, you could say we've coached clients from diapers to dentures, and I can promise you, this strategy doesn't care how many candles were on your last birthday cake because it's all about the process of banking. So Jonah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go off the cuff here. Let's start on the young end of the spectrum. I'm talking about people in their teens, 20s, early 30s. They're often saying, I don't make enough money, or I'll just wait till I'm older. But the insurance companies say that you can actually open up a policy on a child as soon as they have a social security number. Normally, that's around 14 days old. Pretty wild, right? 2 weeks old, and they're eligible for a whole life policy. You know my son's got one, and he's got another one coming here shortly.
So what you're saying is if you think you're too young, you're actually already behind the babies. So I started a policy on my kids when they were toddlers. In fact, my oldest son, Jalen, already has more cash value at 7 years old than I had in my entire portfolio at 25 years old. Isn't that crazy? Shawn, give him some of those details about starting policies early.
Ha! I love it. Little man gonna be handing out loans left and right this year at 7 years old. Little private lender. Love it, man. But like you said, let's talk details. Starting young means your policy premiums are pretty low compared to your relative death benefit cost. And in most cases, you're healthier than you're ever going to be, which is important. We all know the average person is gonna develop diseases. They're gonna face certain injuries as time goes on. That's just life, right? Like my knees hurt right now. But most importantly, Jonah, and I can't stress this enough, starting as early as possible means you're giving your cash value decades to grow and compound.
Ooh, so what I hear is the insurance companies aren't stopping you, you're stopping you with fear or bad information. When you're young, you've got time, and time is a multiplier in infinite banking.
Exactly, Jonah. If we were to take a look at the top performing policies that we build for clients, what do they all have in common? It's that they usually started young, right? It's not because they had more money, it's because they had more runway, meaning time was on their side.
And here's something we don't talk about enough. Young people spend money. I'm talking student loans, rent, business ideas, new cars, going to college, that sort of thing. Wouldn't you rather borrow from your own banking system instead of Visa or Uncle Sally Mae? Wait, can it be Uncle Sally Mae, or does she have to be an auntie?
I'm sure there's a couple large gentlemen out there named Sally, but let's change topics for now and we'll just not come back to that later, okay? So I think that pretty much addresses the I'm too young myth, but let's flip the script here for a second and discuss the I'm too old side of things, because one major point that we made about being young is the advantage of starting early. But what if I'm not young? What if I believe I'm too old? What then?
Okay. First off, insurance companies usually allow new policies all the way up to age 85, some even 90 years old, depending on the company and your health. Now, I'll level with you. You may not get the same death benefit as you would have when you were 50 years old, but you still get control to your capital and use of the system with a cash value curve.
And let's be real, Jonah. Older folks often have more cash than younger folks, except these TikTok kids. I don't really know what's going on there. Anyways, These older folks are often looking for places to store their money safely, grow it predictably, and pass it down efficiently. A whole life policy with a mutual company offers just that. We're talking safety, privacy, tax advantages, and legacy planning. So, we get it. You might not use it to fund college like a younger person or buy your first car, but you might use it to pay for long-term care, pass wealth on to your family, have some extra cash in retirement, or manage estate taxes.
I had a client start his very first infinite banking policy at 68 years old. He wasn't trying to build some 30-year growth model. He just wanted access to capital without having to jump through all of the bank's hoops. And within a couple years, he was actually using his policy to fund some major renovations and to help his granddaughter start a business.
That's what I'm talking about. You see, guys, it's a mindset shift. Infinite banking isn't a product. It's a system, and you can plug into it at any age, as long as you've got the right goals and structure.
All right, Shawn, we've talked theory. Let's talk specifics. Here's what insurance companies actually say about age eligibility. First, the minimum age. As soon as you have a social security number, so that's as early as 10 or 14 days old. Policies for minors are typically owned by a parent, a grandparent, or a legal guardian. As far as maximum age, most carriers, like I said earlier in the video, go up to 85 years old or maybe 90 years old. A few consider applicants higher than that, but they do some specific and special underwriting. The underwriting considerations are that as you age, your health matters more. You actually receive less death benefits, but the structure of the policy, especially designed for banking, still creates cash value, and that's super important.
Even if you're too old or you're uninsurable because of a serious health concern, you can still start a policy on someone else, a spouse, a child, a grandchild, or even a business partner, and you own the policy. You control the cash, the loan features, the strategy, the whole shebang. I've helped parents start policies on their kids that they'll be able to use for retirement income. They're just building and controlling the bank for the time being. It's generational. Now we all know infinite banking is fairly customizable, Jonah. Can you do me a favor and touch on strategy and how age might actually affect this?
So age absolutely affects policy design, yes, but it doesn't eliminate your options. See, we design policies differently depending on the stage of your life. Younger people might want maximum growth and cash compounding. Older folks might want access and liquidity really fast. The system just bends to your needs. That's actually what we specialize in. We customize the system so it works for you. It's not some cookie cutter template. And please remember, the infinite banking concept isn't just about the insurance. It's about recapturing interest. It's about increasing your cash flow and staying in control of your financial future.
Boom. So let's kill this myth for good. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too broke, and it's not too late. You just haven't learned the rules of the game yet. But that's what we're here for.
So if you're ready to stop outsourcing your financial power to banks and credit cards, credit unions, and start taking control with a strategy that works at any age, then you should just book a free cash consultation with us by clicking the link in the description of this video.
We'll help you find out how infinite banking can work for you. Not your neighbor, not your uncle, not some internet guru, but for your actual life.
And hey, if this video gave you something to think about, then hit the like button, subscribe, drop your age in the comments below, and we'll see how diverse the movement actually is, this video reaches. We'll see you next time. Peace.